Good evening, everyone. The photos you'll be seeing on your screen are not meant to illustrate the poems, but were chosen because they reflect something of the poem itself, whether light or color or shape or movement in the writing. Many of them were written during the pandemic. The first poem is about a beloved local bridge that was closed down and in need of repair. It was eventually replaced last spring. The poem is called Van Duzen Street Bridge in Wartime. In early spring, when the iron lattice work is gone, and the last of the saplings planted, when pipes that bore the creek downstream pour water back to barren earth, when rivulets once again flow under pylons strong enough to bear the weight of trouble, then we will cross the bridge, encircled by the engineer's art, retaining walls, the sluice gates falling water. On the opposite side, shadows of friends, ghosted arms outstretched. In the creek, the nesting mallards brood upon our fragile world, all of us at war still. Plague, a battle, mortal injuries, tormented souls and countless wounds. You cannot tell the soldiers from the rest of us. Masks hold the breath, the words of all who wait to cross the stream, who continue onward until the day the bridge is open. More than a metaphor, this is a real bridge. Its comfort, quiet beauty gone in our time of sorrow, in its desperate need of repair. Yet in grief and silence we return to honor it, granting ourselves the ordinary hope of friends missed on the far side of a nightmare, of mallards who brood on their young and remember nothing. The next poem was written during the pandemic as well. It's called At Home Week 6. Ask how it ends and the earth replies. See how the birch tree branches flash, bursts of light, photo taken by the eye of the sun. Ask what it means and the earth replies. Breathe into shadow, ripple of cardinals, shudder of blackbirds, learn the songs. Ask how we will live and the earth replies. As wind troubles the silver birch, as hyacinths bud in wild perfume, and violets stain the grass. Housekeeping. My dwelling's a garment, light sifts through brittle threads. Let me turn it inside out, shake lint from pockets, pin my soul to a breeze. Let day enfold me in the weight of silence, while I gather my basket of wash with care, my soiled and ordinary things. A Japanese musician told me once that to hear the deepest music of the koto, empty the room. Today I am cleaning out drawers, closets, hauling laundry down to the basement, waiting for the hum of bare strings entering the void. Alive as I work, in the peace of every day, stillness carries me through windows open to the great sky. Dwelling in air, I am no more than fragrance, singing wind in my chest like a bird's. Breathe me into the deep silence of music. The next poem is called June 1939, on the 80th anniversary of her parents' marriage. She never saw their wedding film. 16 millimeters didn't fit their small projector. In awe of that measurement, she wondered for years what light it might contain, what faint perfume, the distances she'd have to cross to meet them. So much she didn't know, how they pledged their vows on the rim of a terrible world spinning loose from its reel, how somewhere beyond trouble rests a celluloid image, hands touching, vows in 16 mil, how she was born into this strange amalgam, shadows and light, when life was spoken in whispers, blackout curtains drawn. This next poem is called Garden. It was from my chapbook, The Frailty of Living Things. I hope for Eden with nothing forbidden, for grace because flowers matter, because the nectar of peonies enfolds the humble ant with love. Lavender captivates the honey bee, and mystery sweetens the cinnamon haze of dianthus, where I fall to the ground on my knees. I am looking for hope because roses intoxicate the living world, and not a single purple iris made the evening news. And if I could live with the flowers, I too might grow towards sunlight, away from a nightmare that cannot stop repeating. And who knows, in some lost heaven I might meet my mother, whose garden kept her sane. Apart from DNA, it was the one precious thing we had in common, but that was enough. Her garden gave me everything that mattered, words for the scent of lilacs, for the glory of the bud about to open. This poem is called Ask Her. Over my head a hand's width away it flew, knot of feathers, prey hooked in its talons, fistful of desperate need hurtling over our heads to a branch, leafy redoubt, safety. Pale raptor, slate blue back to us, alone, clutching its prey. Let us say her, let us show respect to this feathered soul who may have hungry young to feed. Let us hold her in the chronicle of memory and time, in the terrible question put to Job, does the hawk take flight by your wisdom? Ask her. She's been here longer than any of us, long before birdseed and takeout. Who provides prey when her young ones cry to God? Ask her, brave hawk, who builds her nest inside of trust, a word alive in the rustle of her wings. This next poem is one that I actually wrote about a photo. It's the only one of its kind. A bluebird dreams of flowers perched on a reed, awash in watercolor light. At rest, blue meadow, still breath of air at dusk, a mystery larger than itself. Perhaps this resting is a kind of prayer, or only a dream. Whatever you call it means less than the stillness, the moment before the bird flies, the calm twilight before we sleep. My last poem, I'd like to end on a lighter note. This poem tells the story about some Australian researchers who were trying to study the social habits of magpies, which are very bright birds. So they fitted them with GPSs and little harnesses and stuff like that. And the birds had other ideas, and one of them took to removing the harness from another, and within 20 minutes, they had all figured out how to do this, and they helped their neighbor out, and the experiment was ruined. But the scientists got something even better, which was the first example of avian altruism ever recorded. That is, a bird helping another bird without a treat or without any special reward. So the poem is called Bird Brains. Sharp magpies feathered with smarts, metronomic bird brains ticking, don't mess with my wings, as they sense the touch of a scientist fitting them with trackers, harnesses, GPS. Treats for you later. There's a good bird. Berries, beetles, worms. Magpie number one shakes disquieted feathers, eyes his buddy, who with her penetrating beak begins to poke at his harness. You guys study social birds? We'll show you social birds. She snips a tiny link, helps her bird buddy out of his gear. Other watchful magpies follow suit. Soon 5 tiny harnesses flake off like molted feathers. The scientists are left to nibble on bird treats, while they note the first recorded instance of birds helping bird for no reward, wondering just what name to give this kindness. Thank you for watching and listening. Good night.